I was like talking to him. He put his mic like right here. And I was like, oh, that's gonna sound great. I don't care. I'll just use the levels. Who cares?
Yeah. I'm doing
Oh, look at that. Careful. Nailed it.
Hello doesn't want you to touch it, Bruce.
It's all right.
He's using my old SX stand with the mic stand.
You know what? I'll just use my light. We have an issue here.
I was looking for anything that was service a mic stand. And pulled it out of my bag.
I don't want people to actually.
Worst comes to worst, I'll just take KWS.
Take his off.
Yeah, help yourself.
Rich's approval on that.
So I rushed over here. No, I heard all about it. He heard about it.
It's kind of a little bit easier of a day. It's been positive. I mean, for all that. Granted, it hasn't really affected us as much, but it's been really smooth.
Yeah.
We got those operations. Listen in. Is that?
I would think that. I told the television guys. I mean, I would. She says he hasn't seen up front. I said, no, I would. That's not really. He's going to throw the spitballs from that.
No, go ahead. Right.
Are we just leaving these here
Yes,
as is?
I've got them set up for ambient. We're good. You just, who's ever speaking, come to the center of the mics will be good. Because they've all got mics too, so.
I have.
So, or this one,
The
right?
other one once they're all up there.
Yeah, but you gotta be close to everybody's mic.
I know, but is this a mic if for him to talk? He didn't have to like sit on my lap to get to this, does he?
No, I'll be able to hear him.
Okay.
Everything's gonna go cozy, is what he's saying. Yeah. Hey, that's the first low budget thing I've seen so far out of you, man. Okay.
They're cracking on your mic stand.
It's pretty creative there.
That's, I was fishing around in my bag to see what I had, and that was it.
Okay.
Most of the talking will be over there.
Does this mean that?
He'll have one here, and we'll have.
Okay. So, how about that?
I'm getting it now. Each mic belongs to each. But they're all like.
So which whenever you like, you can kind of like, don't like to turn around the other direction or something, you know?
This one, just talk.
Yeah, just talk.
He's pure taller than you guys.
Todd.
Really?
Mic on that side. Kind of look closer to you.
This one?
Yeah. There you go.
Are you guys ready? Matt, you guys ready? You ready?
It's got too quiet here, you know. Should I drop a pin?
Got the music. We'll get started in 60 seconds.
I mean, I could play, was it the final countdown by Europe or something? You know, it's just...
Please no. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and open things up here. Todd Tryon, Sioux Falls Storm here. I first want to appreciate everybody for taking time out of your day and coming here and you know, listening in on our press conference and our exciting news, our big news as we take a look at the future of the Sioux Falls Storm franchise. And what's kind of turned out to be one of the worst kept secrets out there at this point. I'd like to officially announce the Sioux Falls intentions of moving leagues and playing in the CIF for the 2018 season and the foreseeable future for that matter. And this decision has not come easy for us. You know, we've had a great experience in the Indoor Football League, and you know, it's really kind of developed over the last 6 weeks. Anytime the season gets over, you know, as a program, we take a step back, reevaluate, and kind of restructure some things and just take a look at what's best for our future. And as we've looked at our fan base and we've looked at our travel and we've looked at surrounding teams and we take a look at a lot of things, the harder we looked, the more the CIF made sense for us. And so, you know, once again, we're excited to announce that for the 2018 season, we will be participating and competing in the CIF. And so right now I want to go ahead and turn things over to the CIF Acting Commissioner, Mr. Ricky Burtz.
Appreciate it, Todd. Before I get started, I want to acknowledge we have 2 additional ownership groups that have made it here. We have the Wichita Force that have made the trip here to Sioux Falls for this exciting announcement, as well as the Bismarck Bucks as well. The CIF is the largest professional indoor football league in the United States, and while member teams play in one league versus the other, I had the opportunity of meeting Todd back in 2010. And we've shared and talked with each other for many years afterwards, and we're excited on behalf of the CIF to welcome Todd and the entire Sioux Falls Storm family into the CIF. We say all the time, just because we're the biggest doesn't mean we're the best, but we focus on trying to be the best indoor football league in the United States, and definitely adding a franchise that has the expectations or the standards and the excellence that the Sioux Falls Storm have with Todd along with Coach Riggs is what makes us, in our opinion, the best indoor football league in the United States. So it's a natural fit for us to want to strive to achieve that pinnacle or meet that pinnacle every single year, and adding franchises such as this helps us to achieve that goal. So on behalf of all CIF playing members and teams, we're here to officially welcome the Sioux Falls Storm into the league as well for the 2018 season and beyond. So we're excited to have you guys here.
Well, thank you, Ricky. I just want to thank a few people here. As I say, this decision did not come easy. You know, my poor wife, who's standing in the back, she took a brunt of a lot of behind-the-scenes conversations. And you know, so my wife, Wendy, thank you. And you know, we talked to a lot of sponsors, and we've talked to some fans. And you know, I had to sit down and talk to every single employee as some things have changed from a restructure standpoint. And you know, everybody's excited, and they're on board, and they're up for the new challenge. And you know, the first thing I did with Coach Riggs is, you know, as I figured out the restrictions that we're going to have for a roster standpoint, you know, I was smart enough to put the players finally in charge with Coach Riggs. And, you know, I'm happy to announce that we took the GM duties. And, you know, because Coach Riggs doesn't have much else going on, you know, we decided to add those GM duties to him. And it's really going to help solidify our roster moving forward. And I feel it's going to make us a stronger unit. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to him and let him say a few words, and then we'll open up to you guys for some questions.
You know, I really don't have much. The one thing it came down to for me is, as I talked with Todd a lot about this process, was, you know, the competition level was very good in the IFL. It's not anything that we didn't like on the field. so please don't, there's been so many rumors going around. That's not the case. We just had to look at what's best for us. And so as we didn't hit a panic button and quickly jump in to joining back into the IFL, Todd played this exactly right, meaning he stayed back and looked at what is the best thing for the Sioux Falls Storm. And as he did that, it became clearer and clearer to him that the CIF really was the best thing for us. To be able to renew the rivalries that we used to have, to be able to have opposing teams' fans in our place, and to be able to go places where our fans can now go and watch us play. It just became really tough when we're going to Spokane and we have 0 Storm fans there, and there's maybe 2,000 Spokane fans. And so we just started to look at, as things were going to grow, is this something that really helps the Storm? And the CIF offers those opportunities. It gives us a chance to rekindle those rivalries, establish new ones, and be able to play where our fans can see us play. So we're excited about this. I'm excited about the new challenges, and I look forward to competing against coaches that I competed against a long time ago, and to rehash those, and to be able to get some of our old rivalries back in our arena.
So we'll go ahead and open things up for any questions, as I know you guys got them.
Ricky, how big of a get is Sioux Falls for your league?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How big of a get is Sioux Falls for your league?
It's huge. I mean, you're talking about arguably the most successful indoor football franchise in the United States, particularly the last decade, but since its inception. So I'll steal an analogy. I mean, they're the New York Yankees, you know, anytime, or the Dallas Cowboys. We can go down the list. So anytime you have an opportunity to add an organization that is going to not only A, help existing partners, but B, continue to raise the expectation level for the rest of the league as well, it's great. I mean, Todd and I went to lunch today along with our Wichita partner as well, and all we talked about were the things that they did in Sioux Falls. They do a lot of things not only well, but extremely well, and they're the pinnacle of success. And so I think that having them on board with us is going to help our existing playing partners, which is going to in turn make the league more successful. And who knows what might happen down the road. We might attract some more teams for the 2019 season and beyond, but the ultimate goal here is to add premier franchises, and there's nobody that gets more premier than adding the Sioux Falls Storm to the league, so we're definitely excited.
Was there any resentment from other teams in the league in bringing in the quote-unquote New York Yankees of indoor football?
No, there's not. I think that there's, you know, I think it's really your mindset. You know, coaches, from a coaching standpoint, Coach Riggs talked about renewing rivalries from existing coaches. For the owners, it's completely different, you know. Again, I use analogies an awful lot. People might love Jerry Jones or hate Jerry Jones, but I can guarantee you that Jerry Jones showed other NFL owners how to be successful in a way they were never successful before. The Storm have been successful on the field, and they've been successful off the field. So from an ownership standpoint, all the owners were excited to bring the Storm on board because it's what Todd and his entire organization has done. So we're excited about not only A, improving from the business model standpoint, but B, improving on the field as well. It's something we're all excited about.
Curtis, what are some of the challenges moving forward with changing leagues?
Well, some of the challenges, for one, will be learning the dynamics of the rules. You know, I don't think they're too far off from the IFL, but as we learn the rules, the restrictions with rosters, probably having to give our roster a new look, and then everything else that comes with that, you know, camp and all the little rules. I mean, we'll really be the new kid on the block here, which seems weird to say, but we'll be the ones learning as we try to go here.
Curtis, hiding back here. Todd, are there stipulations or things that you guys had to agree to change as far as things you do in the IFL or rules in the IFL to get into the league?
Yeah, you know, one of them was coach had to sit out the first 6 games. He was not allowed to coach. No, that was not one of them. But you know, probably the only restriction that you know is we're allowed 8 of our existing IFL players to be carried over to our 2018 roster. And what constitute 8 players is 8 players in all of the league, not just on our team, but that was on a final roster. And so a kid that may have been cut in week 4 doesn't count against that. So the one restriction that's been put on us is 8 players we're allowed to carry over for the 2018, and the rest of the roster needs to be rebuilt.
What's the pay per game for players in the CIF?
It's ironic as the CIF quality has risen, the IFL has kind of shrunk to match it. And so both leagues this next year are going to be operating from a salary cap from the exact same pay structure.
Curtis, with those 8 players that you have to narrow it down to, how tough of a decision process do you expect that to be, and where do you go out and find the new talent to fill out the roster?
Well, it'll be tough, but there's, I think it's one thing that just as the vet role that was put upon all the teams in the IFL, it helped us kind of give our roster a facelift. I think this too will help us, kind of recreate some new players that fans can get behind. And hopefully what we're hoping is that we can get more regional guys too to come in and play for us. It's not hard to find players. It's hard to find quality players. And I don't mean just quality players on the field. There's just certain things that we really want to find in our guys. We want to make sure they don't have a criminal history. We want to make sure they have their degree or help them get their degree. And we want to try to give them an opportunity to move up to a higher league, but we also want them to be a member of our community. And so that is what becomes tough. But finding players, that part's not tough. It's just now how do I go through and cipher through and decide. And that's where I'll rely on my coaching staff. Brian Hermanson and I met last night. The staff's excited about this, and they're all excited about trying to create a roster that can come into the CIF to compete.
What is the next step for you guys? Obviously, right now you just announced it, but what's going to happen moving forward now for the next few days, weeks, until the season starts, I guess?
I'd say it's business as usual. Come September is when, we're out talking. Jim does an outstanding job of getting out and talking to our sponsors and, kind of wrapping up, hey, what'd you like about this last year? What didn't you like? And just getting them commit for the 2018 season. So you got the off the field when you're getting your season ticket holders in place and, kind of doing the same thing, seeing how we can, how can we become a better product, more attractive. So you got the off the field stuff, and then you got Coach Riggs he builds the team in the off season. And so, we've been around a while. We've done this a few times, and, after we get the league decision, put aside, it's figuring out, okay, what's the rules? What do we got to play within, figuring those out, and then it's business as usual off the field.
Talk about the staying power. Obviously, next year's the 19th season for indoor football in this games. You've been around it all leagues, so we just talk about how this comes together for you.
As far as what? I don't
Just
understand.
obviously you started back in the original IFL, and just progressed into this move. And how the game's evolved.
The game has evolved. I would say it has not evolved as much as one might think. I think the talent level's gotten better. From when Coach and I played, I don't know if we'd make the team today. So maybe it's evolved a little bit. But it just seems like in this industry, you at times you see people's true colors, and that's what was pretty colorful here the last 6 weeks. Is as I tried to remove myself from the noise of what was going on, you start seeing what people are really like. And, I feel pretty excited and comfortable about the league that we're going to. I think the quality group of owners and coaches that, they see and operate the way we do. We've been doing it a while longer. And I'd say that's our biggest advantage is we're in our 19th season where, I was talking with Jeff from Wichita, and, he's going into his 3rd season. So we've got a decisive advantage just from longevity standpoint. But it's exciting to be going into our 19th season. It's exciting that our fan base and our community, who's done an outstanding job of backing us, has an opportunity to see some new teams and see some old rivalries. And I think it's been a shot of excitement for all of us.
Has the league
formulated the season as far as the number of games being played, a playoff, divisions, conferences? Have you finalized those types of plans at this time?
We have. With us making the announcement of the Storm today, this actually is the 14th team playing in the CIF for the 2018 season. We have one additional team that we're making the announcement of next week. So our expectation at this point in time is to go into the 2018 season with 15 teams. There's a total of 12 games that will be played. 6 home, 6 away. There's 2 conferences, a Northern Conference and a Southern Conference. I can tell you that the Northern Conference has been established as far as the playing partners that the Sioux Falls Storm will be playing within their conference. Out of the 8 teams in the Northern Conference, the top 4 teams will make the playoffs. It'll be a traditional seeding from there. Number 1 hosts number 4, number 3 hosts number 2, and there's a series of tiebreakers of who hosts the championship game between the Northern Conference winner and the Southern Conference. So that all part has been established. Working with Todd and his staff here, our expectation is that starting tomorrow we'll begin the process of establishing a 2018 schedule that will hopefully be released in the next couple of weeks. It'll make it nice for the coaching staff and for the front office staff to have something to present to not only the fans of the Storm but the entire league as well. And as I said before, we are extremely excited to have the Sioux Falls Storm on the 2018 schedule in the CIF.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Curtis, what was the most appealing thing about joining the CIF?
From a coach?
From a coaching standpoint, yeah.
I think from a coaching standpoint, there's multiple things, and maybe it's a little more of dad, husband to business owner in there. 12 games is appealing. I felt like 16 games really got to be long. And you go 16 games and 3 or 4 bye weeks in there, it's really tough to continue to find ways, and that's where I think we have such a great front office to continue to find ways to get people to come to our games, because as the weather gets nice, it's really tough to draw. And when we're trying to compete with a playoff game going against hot Harley Knights, where you don't want to take people away from that event because it's for such a great cause, what are we doing here? And so I thought the 12 games was very appealing. I think regionally now, to be able to have people to play 14 teams or 15, I think is more secure than 6, and really it's 5. And so all of those aspects, I think, were really exciting for Todd and I when we looked at the CIF.
Todd, kind of the same question, but from a fan's perspective, what makes this appealing for the fans of the Sioux Falls Storm?
I think the fans is seeing a variety of teams coming here. I feel like it's the games or the teams have gotten a little stale over the last couple of years just because we've been playing the same team for so long. And so to see a variety of teams coming into play, seeing we still plan on having the same quality of product on the field. We're excited for some of the entertainment aspects we're going to be able to incorporate as we move forward. And so for the new fan or the existing fan that's coming, you're going to see the same quality of play on the field. You're going to see a new opponent. You're going to see a recognizable opponent, and you're going to see a high entertainment factor.
When will the season end? Will it be completed before the 4th of July?
It's actually a fantastic question. So as it is at this point in time, the season will kick off the last weekend of February. The regular season will end the second week of June, and the championship game will be played the last weekend of June. So yes, the championship game will be completed before the 4th of July weekend.
Thank you.
Not a problem. In more ways than one, huh?
Yeah, not for answering the question either.
Ricky, obviously, we're familiar with the northern teams. Just talk about that, what the southern half of CIF brings to your league.
What does the southern half bring to the league?
Yeah.
I think that I have history working with Todd in the Indoor Football League as being an owner and operator myself, and no matter whether it's a Northern Conference or a Southern Conference, I think the thing that makes the CIF so attractive for not only its existing members but B new members is really the regionalized play. I can tell you that, we have teams as far north as Bismarck, and we go as far south as Dallas. That's our footprint. And so whenever you look at potential teams that want to play indoor football or potential markets, the CIF has really positioned itself to be the dominant league in the Midwest part of the United States. So whether we talk a Northern or a Southern, I think it's really immaterial when you compare to Coach Riggs talked about going out to Spokane, and there's other places going to Arizona as well and stuff. I think that that's part of our business model. So even with another Southern Conference incorporated into that, the travel incorporated in that is probably far better than anything the Sioux Falls Storm have had since going back to the UIF days, if you would agree with that. So, and I don't know about you, Coach, as well. So I think they really complement each other very well just because of where we're at strategically, being in the Midwest part of the United States. All right. We good?
Any more questions?
All right.
On behalf of all our entire organization, I want to thank you guys once again for taking time out of your day, supporting our program and coming here and hearing our big news. And once again, we're excited to be joining the CIF in 2018. Thanks a lot, you guys.